If you're a brand new real estate agent, stay tuned because I got some great practical advice for you. Let's get into it. Hello everybody, I hope you're all having an incredible day. If you don't know, my name is Aram. I'm a real estate agent here in the Chicagoland area. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please, if you enjoy the content, hit the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel and leave your thoughts and feedback in the comments below. I read them all and I reply to every single one of them. That's how we do business over here. And for the returning subscribers, welcome back. Much appreciated, much love. Thank you for all the support. Now, let's get into the topic at hand. Practical advice for new agents. This is some stuff that you probably don't even know to ask about yet because you kind of learn it as you go through the business. For me, I learned a lot of these by making the mistakes myself, so you get to learn from my mistakes right now. I've made videos like this in the past where I go like biggest mistakes of real estate agents. This is going to be similar but a little bit different because we're going to get to the details. I'm just going to give you like the practical advice to help you out. And I have taken some notes so I don't miss anything. And a lot of this is actually from the last vlog I made. I asked you guys to leave some feedback in the comments as to what kind of questions you have. What do you want me to talk about? So I jotted a few down and we're gonna go over them right away. This is take number 2 because the last one I talked too long, the camera stopped recording, so I'm redoing the whole thing. Let's get into it. Number 1 practical advice I have for you is the company email. Never use it. Whatever brokerage you sign up with, never ever use the company email. For example, I'm with Remax. I do not use agazarian at remax.net. Here's why. Because if you ever decide to move, and I don't care how loyal you are, eventually you're not going to stick with the same brokerage that you signed up with, right? You're going to move around. You're going to test a few things out. The market might shift, right? And the last thing you want to happen is what happened to me is when you switch brokerages and you lose all the context in your last email, all those clients that all they had was your email address, now they can't get a hold of you. All the files you had saved in your email, gone, right? And you have to start all over again. You have to change your social medias, your business cards, all that have to go. So please save yourself the headache and just have your own independent email address. For example, mine is aramgrealty@gmail.com. Obviously, more practical advice. Keep it professional and make sure your email tells us what you do. For example, ARMG Realty. Obviously, I'm in real estate. How to handle your expenses. Understand you are a new agent. You have just started your own business. You are no longer getting paid a W-2, which is how you normally get paid. You are not getting paid on a 1099. What that means is you get 100% of your paycheck and no taxes are taken out. So at the end of the year, you have to meet with your accountant and see what expenses you've accrued, wipe those off, and then you pay taxes on whatever's left over. Now, to make your life easier, because the only way you can make those write-offs is if you have receipts, to make your life easier, what you want to do, and I highly recommend this, is pick one credit card and use that only for business expenses. This next one, as a new agent, I understand you're probably going to be interviewing with a lot of brokerages. Word of advice, do not accept a split lower than a 70-30. In the market that we're in right now, it's extremely competitive. There's no reason why anybody should be on a 50-50 split. I know a lot of brokerages try to sell you on, oh, we offer you this, we offer you that, we'll pay for your signs, we'll do that, we have training, all this garbage. At the end of the day, it means nothing, okay? It's not worth 50% of your cut. To give you perspective, right? If you generate $50,000 worth of commission your first year, that's $1.5 million in sales, right? You will pay out 25 grand if you have a 50-50 split. Just think about all the things you could do with an additional $25,000. You could literally go to Remax and pay $1,000 a month and have 100% commission and make more money, right? So do not fall for the trap of being on a higher split. On a lower split. Try to get a 70-30. That's a very fair split for a new agent. I get it. If you're a new agent, brokerages may not want to take that risk on you. That's why 70-30 is fair. Next up, health insurance. As a real estate agent, you're 1099. You don't work for anybody but yourself, so you don't get any health insurance. But if you want to, you can purchase it independently. I believe if you're young and healthy, it's like $140 to $180 a month. So if it's an expense you want, obviously health over wealth, look into that for yourself. Generating business as a new agent, that's obviously the number one goal here because you can't do any of the practical advice I just discussed here if you got no business, right? The best thing for you to do is build your skills through cold calling and prospecting, just old-fashioned prospecting. Here's why. As a new agent, you probably don't have as much money, but you have all the time, right? So now time becomes your resource. Use it through prospecting, cold calling, door knocking. You can do open houses. It's a very cheap and efficient way to get business. How do you sell a listing? Great, you got the business now, you got a listing, everything signed, sealed, delivered, you got that 32% commission. How do you sell this house so you get paid? Which, by the way, we don't get paid until it closes, and if it doesn't close, you don't get paid. There you go. So be prepared for that. Number one thing, do not fall for the trap of paying for all this fluff stuff, like paying a fortune for brochures, getting a Matterport virtual tour done, getting a video done. All that means nothing. It's great to market yourself as a real estate agent, but it's not great for selling a house. It doesn't sell homes, right? Here's what sells homes. You need 4 things to happen, and a house will sell 100% of the time. Number one, you have to price it right. This is the most important. If you're not gonna do this right, go home, right? You have to price it right. Now, there's gonna be situations where your clients, like you say it's worth 300K, but the client may wanna try 325. Your job is to let them know the home is worth 300K, right? If they wanna try more, let them know we could try, but in a few weeks, we have to adjust. So price it right. Number 2, take great photos. If your brokerage doesn't pay for photos, then you pay for those photos. They're the most important part of your marketing. You have no idea. Here's why. Because the price is gonna get people's attention, right? Like, for example, if I'm looking for 3 to 350, you fall under my filter, my criteria, I'm gonna look at your house. The photos is what makes me excited about it and want to see it, right? So you have to make sure that the photos show the layout very well, show the finishes, and all those good things. Number 3, this is pretty easy. You've done a great job of pricing it right. Now you've gotten great photos, and somebody wants to come see it, so make it easy to schedule a showing, AKA make it easy to show. Don't do any 48-hour notice, or they gotta jump through 17,000 hoops just to get a hold of you to schedule a showing. Make it as easy as a text or a click, and boom, they're booked, right? Don't make my job as a buyer's agent any harder than it already is. And the 4th thing is pretty obvious. You already got them to the property because it's easy to see. Make sure it shows well. So if it smells bad, figure out a way to get rid of the smell. If there's like some stains on the walls, figure out a way to clean that. Make sure there's no eyesores. It just shows well. It's nice, clean, open, not cluttered, all that. Boom. And that's all you need. That will sell a house 99.9999% of the time. And that's all you need. Simple put, the MLS is going to be your greatest resource. That's why you're a real estate agent. Use it. Boom, done, moving on. Next up is practical advice for how to market yourself as a new agent. The issue you're gonna have is you have no buyers to share your experience with. You have no experiences to talk about. You have no listings to post on social media or any of that. You have nothing, right? So the best way for you to go out there and start having things to market is to do an open house, right? Do one every week. And it's going to help you in multiple different ways. Number 1, you get to have some real estate conversations with buyers and see exactly what they care about. You'll be asked questions that you didn't even know were questions to be asked. Like, I'll give you my example. My first open house, somebody asked me about a septic tank. If like the area was a well and septic, I'm like, I don't even know what that means in my head. I was like, I'm not sure. I think it is, but I'll get back to you on that. And I was like Googling like a madman throughout the entire time. Like, what the hell is well? Everyone keeps asking me about well and septic. What is it? Then I learned, right? Otherwise, I would have never even Googled the damn thing. So that's what open houses are for. And then it gives you an opportunity to market yourself. Like, hey, I'm at this open house. Oh, hey, look at this good kitchen. You're inside the house. So that's a great way you can market yourself as a new agent. And then on the next layer up, networking is huge. As a new agent, a mistake I made is when I got into business, I cut everybody off and I was 100% into prospecting. Huge problem. Because my sphere already likes me and trusts me, why am I not talking to my friends to get business, right? And here's how you do that. Simply go out with your friends, have a good time. When you get invited to a party, go. If it's poker night, you don't play poker, go to poker night. If people are bowling, you don't like to bowl, but there's gonna be a nice crowd there, go bowl. Go have a good time, experience some new things, meet some new people. And over time, you'll realize that they also need homes and they will reach out to you when they're ready. And that's what happened with me. I get a lot of my business from my sphere, and I don't tell them I'm a real estate agent. They follow my social media. We hang out, poker nights, we go grab lunch, we have a good time, we joke around, and then when they're ready, they reach out. How to pass your real estate exam. I am hoping by the time you're watching this video that you've already got the license, you're down ready to go, but maybe you're proactive and you're watching it before you even get into the business. The best way to pass the exam is to know all the vocabulary words and all the detail, like for example, the comparison between acreage and square footage, like how many square feet is in an acre, things like that might be important to know. And then when you're ready to take your exam a few days before, get on examsmart.com and take as many practice exams as possible. They do charge $45 a month, but don't be cheap. We're talking about your career here. So pay the money and take those practice exams. They'll be incredibly helpful for you. Also, know that 99% of the stuff you've covered in the actual course, you don't ever have to know, bring up, or talk about as a real estate agent. Just focus on passing the exam and forget it like it was a math test, okay? This next one is something nobody ever really talks about. Your partners in the business, right? You need referral partners. And here's what I mean. As an agent right now, I have to have a lender my clients can go to that I can rely on, that is going to take care of my clients, is not going to take advantage of them. Attorneys I can send my clients to, home inspectors that can do a good job, not miss anything, right? Title companies worth working with, and contractors if something needs to be fixed. The list goes on, right? These are called referral partners. Here's some practical advice for how to get the good ones, because the issue is you don't want to do trial and error on your clients, right? Because if a home inspector sucks, they're not blaming the home inspector, they're going to blame you because you referred the guy, right? So what I did was, and I recommend you do the same, when you join a brokerage, find out what agents have the most experience, like the longest period of time they've been doing real estate and they've been selling, they're actual producers. Ask them who they use, because they've already done the trial and error. They work with experienced people, and they can refer you to somebody that can do a good job. For example, when I need an inspector, I went up to an agent in my office. I'm like, hey, who do you use for an inspector? He said, use Steve. Steve is great. I call Steve. Steve was great. Steve is now my inspector. Another practical business advice for you all is never put all your eggs in one basket. Now, to clarify, always be loyal to your referral partners, right? Don't be like, sending to 17 different people. Pick one and stay loyal so that way they take care of you like you take care of them. However, make sure that you have a secondary option in case something happens, like your first option retires or goes on vacation or is not available, whatever, right? I'm glad this happened with me because I always like to keep my options open as a second. I don't have no third options, but my second option's always there. Reason behind that is I had a really poor experience once with my go-to lender at the time. They really took advantage of the client that I referred them, and I was able to reach out to my second guy, and he really took care of him. He saved the deal, so now he's my go-to guy. Shout out to Rick, right? So that's how you get referral partners. They're going to help you out a lot because they make your life significantly easier. This next one is easy. Appearances matter. You're a brand new agent. People were looking for any reason not to hire you, so don't give them one, right? Make sure your hair is right. If you're a dude, don't have a scruffy beard. Be clean shaven. If you're a girl, I don't think you shave your face, but whatever, just make sure you're clean, you're professional. You don't have to wear a suit every day, but you do want to seem like you mean business. This next one is by far the best practical advice I can give you because number one, it's against the trend right now. Everybody wants to work from home, but as a real estate agent, especially if you're new, I highly recommend that you go to the office every single day for as long as possible, right? If you're going to be home just watching YouTube videos all day or tutorials, or you're going to be studying, whatever, go to the office and do that. Here's why. When you're in the office, you're going to be privy to some real estate conversations. An agent might come in, meet with the client. You might want to eavesdrop and see how they're having their conversations, et cetera, right? And on top of that, every now and then, somebody can literally walk into a brokerage office and be like, hey, I want to buy a house. And guess who gets that referral? The only agent that's in the office. I've actually gotten about 3 deals this way, so I highly, highly recommend you do the same, right? And another reason you always want to go to the office is it shows that you're working hard, you're extremely reliable, and you get to meet the office staff. You get to meet your admin, your managing broker, your owners, and all the other agents. So when you need something, they're actually going to take the time to help you out. Or let's say nobody's in the office and a lead like that comes in, who do you think they're going to send it to? You. So build those relationships in the office as well. All right, we got to speed past this because the camera's about to die. How to learn the market that you're in. As a new agent, you probably don't know anything about anything when it comes to the real estate side of things. So here's how you learn. Go to broker tours. Once you get access to the MLS, you can look up open houses. You can also look up broker tours. These are basically open houses for agents only. They're done during the week, sometime in the morning between 9 to 1 p.m. Some of them will go in the late afternoon, but that's the most common in my area, right? You find out what days they do broker tours in the markets you want to work in, and you go and you have conversations with those listing agents, right? Ask them to tell you about the house, and you'll see how they talk about a house. You'll learn the different materials, and then ask them to tell you about the area, and then you'll learn everything. And that is huge. Once I learned that 2 years in, I wish I did it my first week in the business. Save for taxes, because what will happen is if you don't save, you're going to have to claim a lot of deductions, which is really going to lower your claimed income. So in a couple of years, when you're looking to get a mortgage or get any kind of a loan, it becomes a problem. So make sure you're prepared to pay your fair share in taxes. And then always track your commission and understand how all the fees work and how that final net number in your pocket is calculated. Because oftentimes we're all on different splits, and brokerages use an automatic system to calculate commission, and it could be off. I've had a few commission checks that were $300, $400, $500 off, and I had to get involved, like, hey, this is the issue, blah, 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 fix it. And they always fix it because it's never on purpose, but just keep an eye on it so nobody takes advantage of you. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this practical advice was helpful. If I missed something, if you got questions, leave it in the comments. I will definitely respond to everybody. Thank you again, and have yourselves a great day.